My first regular season with the New York Knicks finishes today, everybody. Welcome back to the Road to NBA 2K21 series on the PlayStation 5, episode number 72. We currently sport a 38-31 record, which is good for 6th in the Eastern Conference currently, but we shouldn't be content with just being a playoff team. We'll be striving for the final home court advantage slot in the East this season, which is currently held by the Wizards and the Raptors, as Washington and Toronto lead us by 3.5 games for the 4th and final home court advantage seed. We'll be hopping into some simulating to begin this episode. Hopefully I can rebound from my struggles from the previous episode to piece together a last-ditch playoff push in our final 13 games of Season 5, as we're also competing with the Atlanta Hawks for that final home court seed. They're tied with us, trailing Toronto and Washington by 3.5 games. And then looking at the Western Conference, we see that the bottom half is very wide open, which bodes well for Donovan and his Trail Blazers, as Portland's been the NBA's biggest disappointment. Donnie's been expressing some frustration in his contract season, but he can at least salvage it with a stretch of good games to clinch a playoff seed. Dallas and Deshaun, on the other hand, are the West's top dogs, but Denver, LA, and Minnesota are within striking distance, and the West should be in for a photo finish. So let's take care of this simulating. We are dealt a tough blow by the NBA's defending champions, the Miami Heat, 20-point loss. I didn't play well, only 6 points, but then we turned things around. A clutch 1-point win against Atlanta, who are pretty much our biggest adversaries right now in the Eastern Conference standings, so that's a colossal win. And then I finally put it all together with a huge effort against the Utah Jazz, 26-10 for me, and Ferran with a new career high, 41 points with 5 assists, but a tough 5-point loss against the Utah Jazz, as Jordan Clarkson, the NBA's favorite to win 6 Man of the Year, drops 33 on us, and we lose Kevin Knox's services for the rest of the regular season, but we will have him back in the postseason. But then we knock off the NBA's best team, 100-82. We take the win against Milwaukee. I had 17, 12, and 5 steals in that one, and then 22 and 11 against the Sacramento Kings in a blowout effort. Way to go, guys, and let's make it 3 in a row against Oklahoma City, 24 and 12 for yours truly. Double-double for Mitch in this game, and I put in the work against rookie Jalen Suggs against Oklahoma City. And then we exchange wins and losses, snapping our win streak at 4. But it's looking pretty good here as we welcome the Washington Wizards to Madison Square Garden. A very nice stretch of games there in simulating, which puts us in pretty good position here. As you can see on the left, 2.5 games out of Washington, while Atlanta is struggling down the stretch. So we basically have the 5th seed locked up with only a couple more games to go. And a win against Washington tonight could be huge for us moving forward, as I'm going up against my college rival, Jerome Clifford, of course, along with Russell Westbrook at the 2, Bradley Beal at the 3. It's been a great turnaround season for Washington, but we are trying to deliver a huge blow to Washington's chances for that 4th seed. That's how we started off Ferran with a 3-point bomb. 22.4 points per game for Ferran, and the NBA's best steal man. 2.5 steals a game, finds me in the corner, and then I look to the adjacent corner for Cade Cunningham. 2 assists off the bat. Way to go, Cade. And right when I saw that sequence go down for us New York Knicks to begin this game, I knew it was going to be a pretty special night in store for us. Already 10 unanswered points as we go up against Washington, and like I said, my college rival Jerome Clifford covering me in the corner right there. He's averaging around 11 and 5 assists per game on the season, one of the best 3-point shooters percentage-wise in the NBA. And here's assist number 5 already for me in the first 5 minutes, and this one's probably my favorite thus far. I've got a chance to put up a pretty crooked number in the assist tally tonight if I keep this up. Beautiful assist there to Mitchell Robinson. 16-6 game. This is the biggest game of our season, and we're playing like it. Clifford off the mark inside. Cade collects and will find me out on the break. We got some numbers here. Little step back move against Bradley Beal, and then I find Cade Cunningham on the backdoor feed. Jerome Clifford gives up about 5 inches of height on Cade. He was not ready for the backdoor that time up the floor. 7 first quarter assists for me in this one, and I've really started to put it together these last couple of days. Here we go, 1-on-1 against Thomas Bryant. A lot of contact there, no whistle, no problem though. 6 and 7 for me in the first quarter. Let's jump to the second quarter now. 52-37, 15-point game. Knicks on top. Bradley Beal off the mark. Look at me out-rebounding Thomas Bryant, and looking also for Austin Rivers in transition. 7 first-quarter assists, but I went the entire second quarter with that one until Austin Rivers steps up and hits one there. 55-37. We are doing super well, especially beyond the arc, and then Austin Rivers wants to return the favor with the slam in the fast break setting. Look at Rivers finding me with the no-look dish, and I throw down the two-handed jam right on top of Jerome Clifford. It seems like every time I play Clifford, I always have the upper hand. It's been like that since my college days. And then I pick up a steal there on Troy Brown Jr. Going all the way, little dish off to Emmanuel quickly. Assist number 10, a first half double-double for myself. And us Knicks, we are feeling ourselves as we jump to the second half of action. And another reason why this is a huge game for us is that if we beat Washington tonight, we'll take the season series and thus have the tiebreaker for that 4th seed. If we win tonight in Cade Cunningham, I tell the rookie to go up and get it. His development throughout this entire year has just been such a treat to watch. And as we jump to the 4th quarter, it becomes an extremely ugly game for Washington. 112-77, jumper there off the inbound. I continue to do work on Jerome Clifford, making him look silly. 16 points in 24 minutes for yours truly. 118-84, just a couple more plays to show in this one down the stretch, giving the fans their money's worth along with the blowouts. As I have Davis Bertans on me, I got much quicker foot speed than he does. And with that flick of the wrist, I got that shot off just in the nick of time at the end of the shot clock. Good improvisation there. That'll give me 20 points for number 20. 22 and 13 with 6 rebounds when it was all said and done. 127-86. We do secure the tiebreaker over Washington, and probably our most impressive win of this entire season. Offense and defense, it was all there. And when you look at some of the shooting numbers for Washington, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like I said, 22 and 13, 2 steals. This was a vintage Jay Fitz game for sure. And after my struggles in the recent weeks, I started putting it together a little bit and simulating. And finally, this was the breakout game that I was looking for, along with 5 other New York Knicks players in double figures, and it felt great to be the one facilitating it all tonight. And as we look over to the Wizards numbers, you see some of the field goal percentages. Ferron didn't do a lot on offense, but he held Russell Westbrook to 5 of 17 shooting. Beal was 4 for 15. And at the end of the day, I had the upper hand on Jerome Clifford once again, only 10 points from our former college rival. So, we do improve. We are now a half game over Washington with 3 games to go left in the season, fighting for that final home court seed. That would be awesome to get that and bring some home games back to Madison Square Garden to begin the Knicks' return to the NBA playoffs. But we have to go through some turbulence here, you could say. We have to take on the Pelicans in the Smoothie King Center. This is a game that I was definitely dreading for a while. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the season. We had to wait all the way till the 80th game of the season to play the Pelicans back in New Orleans. And they are hungry right now. They're fiending for a playoff seed to try to prove to me that they're still a playoff caliber team. They're half game out against Oklahoma City. And with the way things ended in New Orleans last offseason, I can expect a lot of boos, a lot of chants that, don't say very nice things about me. But I just have to stay focused, getting off the team bus for a road game in New Orleans. Never thought this would happen. I just got to stay focused for this huge game against New Orleans.
I will never change. Everything around me seems to always change. They be hating on me. Some things never change. Still the same old me. Everything around me. Still the same old me. I will never change. Everything around me seems to always change. They be hating on me. Some things never change. Still the same old me. Everything around me. Been the same old me ever since day one. I've been A1. Tryna get up on these beats, leave you with a piece of meat. You hate so much, making enemies. Can't feed from your negative energy. Not quite at the top, but I'm finna be. Drop top, you can feel the breeze. Wanna fresh like fresh sunset in the palm tree. My success is just
Now introducing the visiting New York Knicks. Starting at center, 7-footer, Mitchell Robinson. At the power forward position, 6'9", out of the University of Kentucky, number 30, Julius Randle. The rookie out of Oklahoma State, 6'8", number 2, Cade Cunningham. Fifth-year pro out of the University of Texas, number 20, John Fitzpatrick. And starting at the 2 guard, 6'5", number 1, Faron Medine. And the New York Knicks are coached by head coach Tom Thibodeau. Well, obviously that was not a very warm reception in my return back to New Orleans, which is kind of what I expected. A lot of boos during the opening introductions there, and just like the pregame song, things have always been changing in this Road to NBA 2K series, but I will never change. I gotta stay the same and continue to do what I do. Here we go, opening tip. This is gonna be a very interesting game. I gotta stick together with my teammates here. The pregame jump goes to the New York Knicks, and with the boos already in my head a little bit, immediately out of the tip, I turn it over. Kira Lewis to the basket, no good, but Anthony Davis, he records the first basket of the game. My former teammate for the first 4 seasons of my career. And the boos continue to come in full force. We need a basket here to get us on the board. Please, Faron, you gotta step up. Nicely done there off the screen, using the ball on the floor to record my first assist. Faron bails me out. It's gonna be me and my teammates against this very imposing environment of about 15,000 people. We have to stick together. And I try to knock down a 3 there to quiet the crowd, but I still get the steal there. It's all good. And I attack. I put my head down, attack Anthony Davis. No free throws, a lot of contact, but somehow I still get it to go. Very impressive finish there. Hopefully that'll quiet down New Orleans a little bit. 12-7 game though. Kira Lewis now lobbing up Anthony Davis, and immediately in the early goings of this one, I could already tell that this was going to be a very ferocious game from two sides. I took exception to the lob a little bit, so I decided to answer back. I throw it up to Julius Randle. 14-9 game, New Orleans on top. Marcos Silva, another former teammate, goes to the basket. Very tough foul from Mitchell Robinson, and that's not going to be the first one we see of those. These teams were fighting very hard. I feel like the environment's really rubbed off on the players. As you can see here, Cade Cunningham gets in the middle of Luzada Silva's and Anthony Davis's attempted high five, and a little bit of pushing and jawing there at the end of that play. Expect to see a lot of that. It feels like, because of my situation and what happened last offseason, a lot of bad blood started to turmoil between these two teams, and there's Kira Lewis who picks up the steal off of Faron's pass to myself, trying to set up the offense. So we'll run it back, and I'm a little angry after that. I want to show Kira Lewis who the real point guard is. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little scared out of the opening tip, but now I'm starting to find my bearings, and now I'm starting to trash talk a little bit. RJ Barrett was in that trade after I was dealt to New York from New Orleans, and you see me getting right up in his ear, jawing with RJ, as he was the main piece on the other side of that trade. Chanting, I expected this too, but no problem. I convert the 3-point play. Let's go. 18-15 game, still down by 3 as Boban Marjanovic checks in, gives me a screen, nothing doing there. Toppin also checks in, sets a screen for Cade Cunningham as he will find a lane into the paint, and Cade Cunningham rips down the rim on that take to the cup. Another assist for myself, that's 4 in the first half. 40-37, we're still looking for our first lead of the ball game. 7:44 left to go. I'm open from the elbow as the help side comes and leaves Julius Randle wide open for yet another assist. Looking pretty good thus far. I'm starting to get the butterflies out of my stomach. I'm starting to quiet down this New Orleans crowd a little bit as I slip behind Kira Lewis. Nice feed from Faron, and then I find Austin Rivers leaking open with a no-look dish, and now he's talking to the crowd a little bit. Everybody jawing to the crowd with each other. Everything is happening right now. I mean, this is insane. I was not expecting this game to be this intense, but Faron continues with his big first half performance. He's got a triple there to give us our first lead of the contest, 46-44. And then Richaun Holmes tries to tie it back up, and Mitchell Robinson says no, not once but twice. And then Austin Rivers leading the break. Rivers is getting more playing time down the stretch with Kevin Knox's injury. He's still going to be out until the playoffs, as Rivers will then lob Mitchell Robinson for the windmill. Both of these teams going back and forth. This has the makings to be the best season game we play all year long. Richaun Holmes, though, gets the momentum back, swinging in the Pelican side of things. That is until Julius Randle wants to go MJ on Otto Porter again. Look at this dunk by Randle with the offhands. Unbelievable. Another assist, that's number 9 in the first half, as Mitchell Robinson collects a miss and will give me another chance to shoot, but my jump shooting and overall offensive attack hasn't been that great. I'm shooting under 40% to begin this first half, but Mitchell Robinson does put in the second chance basket, as then I collect a miss on top of Anthony Davis, grabbing that rebound away from the brow. 52-49, we're back in front by 3 as I take this one all the way on the unibrow. The former DPOI winner, Anthony Davis, gave me a little shove in the back on the layup, but I still knock it through. 56-51 as I hit the bench for the rest of the first half. 61-58. 3-point advantage for the Knicks. This has been a very scrappy, physical, hard-hitting game with a lot of trash talking, and I'm excited to see what the second half has in store for us. However, the Pelicans with 4 unanswered points to begin the second half. Kira Lewis checking me up near the timeline as I'm looking to get things going, but again, for the third time, the rim just not friendly to me today, and this is the exact opposite of when I want that to happen in a game as big as this. And then Kira Lewis with the touch pass up to Anthony Davis. He's the leading scorer on the ball game, 18 for the Brow, who was surprisingly let off the All-Star game. He was not a participant this season, was definitely robbed. As here we go with Ferran for the tie. He knocks it through. Assist number 10 already for myself. We're continuing to put in work, looking very good on the offensive end, but we got to get some stops though. Coming up short is Julius Randle on that jump shot. Otto Porter leads the break, and with the utmost confidence, he pulls up. Nobody checks him out, and Otto Porter extends the lead back up to 5. He was a little bit of a disappointment for us whenever I was on the team last year, but that was a very nice shot there by Otto Porter. But in response, Ferran takes it on the former DPOI winner, Anthony Davis, and dunks it down. I believe that was season 3 that Anthony Davis won his Defensive Player of the Year award whenever I was on the Pelicans. So we're back trailing by 5 though. This is a very scrappy Pelicans team. So much contact inside. Another hard foul, but I finally go back to the line, and I'm going to need a trip right now of 2 successful free throws if I want to get back on track. My field goal percentage not really where it needs to be, but I do knock down 2 for 2 as I quiet down the "you suck" chants once again. 73-68, 5:33 left to go. Austin Rivers joins the floor with Omari Spellman, finds me as I try to take it on Kira Lewis. Nice jump shot off the dribble. I'm starting to get a couple to go now, up to 13 points. This third quarter has been my best in terms of shooting the rock. And with all these boos and "you suck" chants, how nice would it be to get a win here back in New Orleans as I put the double move on Richaun Holmes, and this time it's Otto Porter that sends me flying into the basket, the stanchion, and I just got once again, I gotta shake that off. I gotta get rid of the nonsense, tune out these chants. And I do. I knocked down 2 for 2 once again. Another perfect trip from the line. 15 and 10 for myself on the ball game. And still down by 3 though. Jonah Bolden. Good defense inside. It's tipped around, and then Bolden saves it to Austin Rivers. And you'll find me in transition for the game-tying 3. That's good. Yes, what a shot there. Austin Rivers continues to make positive plays. And I love the defensive attack on Jonah Bolden that time. He didn't know where to go with it. Rivers finds me in the right corner, and a rare 3-ball goes for myself. This third quarter was a dream quarter in terms of shooting the ball, and it's back to a tie game at 75 apiece as I'm quieting the New Orleans crowd. New Orleans back out on top with 1:44 left to go in the third quarter. Ferran with 6 seconds to go on the shot clock. Way to go. There's assist number 11 on the silky smooth drive from my good buddy. He leads the Knicks in points right now, 19 on above 50% shooting. He's had my back today. He knew that this was going to be a tough game for me, but these New York Knicks teammates, man, they're going to have my back all game long. But that is a horrible call. Look at that. JULIUS has had me in some foul trouble. That's my fourth personal as I try to draw the charge on Anthony Davis, and I don't know how that was not a charge. How do you give him the blocking foul there? That is a weak call, and with 4 personals, I'm going to have to check out for the rest of the third quarter. Coming back in, we do take the lead though, 85-89. And this is going to be setting up a huge photo finish to the most intense game of Season 5. Immediately back out on the floor. That layup gives me 20 points. Way to go, number 20. I also have 11 assists and 6 rebounds to my name as well. And one of the most impressive turnarounds and overall performances from my 5th NBA season. 91-87, Ferran doing some work off the screen. Rashawn Holmes checks him while Marcos Silva tries to get in the path of Mitchell Robinson, and he punishes MLS. Marcos Silva has had a very tough day at the office, that's for sure. 95-89 after Robinson missed the free throw. Otto Porter's on me with 4 seconds left to shoot. I go to work with the ball on the floor. Another jumper goes. 22 in the ball game. That's my 4th jumper to go, and if I continue this great second half performance and lead us to a win in this environment, that'll go a long way in cementing myself as one of the better point guards in the game. But JULIUS there, he's had a couple baskets made here in the 4th quarter as well. With me and my 5 fouls now, I can't really play hard defense on JULIUS. One more and I'm disqualified as RJ Barrett hits the pull-up jump shot there. 17 for him, but immediately back up the other way. Ferran up through the air. Another assist. So aggressive with it tonight is Ferran. He's had my back. What more can I say? We're approaching 5 minutes left to go in the contest. Up by 4. And in my return to New Orleans, I'm having a great day, and that can get even better as Rashawn Holmes checks me in the corner. Way too slow to cover me, but he does have a great contest on the shot. A lot of body on that attempt from the floor. No whistle, but no problem. 24-12 in my return to New Orleans as Ferran tries to deliver the dagger, but that one's just a little bit too strong. He rushed it a bit. Back up the other way. Marcos Silva, who's had a very tough game, gives it up to RJ as Kyra sets the screen for Barrett to find himself wide open to cut it back down to a 1-point game. And after a New York Knicks timeout, Anthony Davis would check back in after sitting on the bench for the entirety of the 4th quarter up to this point. And immediately, he's aggressive with it, attacking Randle off the dribble and retaking the lead for the New Orleans Pelicans. They try to complete and finish this 4th quarter comeback. Gotta put the clutch jeans on. Here we go. JULIUS one-on-one. Give it off to Ferran as he sets up the play. Back over to me in the corner. I just had a drive that I made over here, but instead I'll set it up for Cade Cunningham to come off a screen that's a little far out for the rookie, but he knocked it through. Cade Cunningham. What has gotten into the rookie down the stretch in his freshman season? Look at this shot. Look how far out the Oklahoma State product was. And he puts us back out on top, 104 to 102. 2.5 to go in this ball game. As Anthony Davis threw off his back foot, he had the favorable matchup on Cade. 104 apiece, 2:20 left to go in the biggest game of the season for me personally. Trying to knock down my former team as Ferran goes to the cup. Nice job there, drawing the foul from MLS, who has had his hands full with Ferran all game long. And Ferran will hit the first one. This one will put us up by an even 2 points. And Ferran, who shoots over 87% from the line, misses the second. And Silva is open to retake the lead, 107 to 105. MLS puts behind, his tough game. He puts it in the rearview mirror and hits the biggest shot of the night for New Orleans. 3 seconds left on this possession. This shot will be for the tie over Anthony Davis. Not a good look, but here comes Julius Randle to dunk it back down. Tying it back up, 1:36 left to go in this game. What a contest this has been. Kyra Lewis now setting up things for the Pelicans, and why on earth is Ferran on Anthony Davis? Oh my goodness, that could have been a three-point play, but very heads-up play by Randle to rotate over and reject the layup by Anthony Davis. So 107 in the unibrow, knocks down both free throws as the Smoothie King Center serenades MVP. I think you guys got to win a little bit more before he can be the MVP this season. Nonetheless, 109-107. Looking for a tie ball game here. I've lost track of how many times this game has been tied, as Ferran wants to try to find his way into the paint, and bodies fly everywhere, and when the dust settles, Ferran is called for a charge. How can you make that call at this stage in the game? At the end of the third quarter, I got my fourth personal by trying to draw a charge at Anthony Davis, and I was called for a blocking foul, but then they called Ferran for a charge there. That is ridiculous. So the calls continue to favor New Orleans down the stretch, as feeding the post is Lewis. Back out to Lewis for the three, and he puts it through. Oh my goodness, I try to just help out for a second, and Kyra Lewis, who has gone 0 for 3 from beyond the arc up to this point, knocks it down, but I do get a quick 2 points to stop the bleeding there. Back to a three-point game. We need a stop desperately. 26 on the night, but it won't matter if we cannot hold off New Orleans. 42 seconds left. Lewis receives a screen from Luzada Silva, and once again goes to the elbow. Anthony Davis goes baseline, nearly missing a three-point play. Julius Randle cannot cover Anthony Davis, and the Brow, despite not even playing most of this fourth quarter, has been the best player on the floor for the Pelicans down the stretch. Knocks down the first, and this second free throw from my former teammate is the big one. This will have a dead ball inbound if he makes it, but he doesn't, and we have numbers. Let's go, Kay, give it up to me. 32 seconds left. Ferran to cut it to a one-point game. They left him open, but the bounce does not go for him. Oh my goodness. And me forgetting the situation in my 5 fouls, I'm forced to intentionally foul Kyra Lewis. And from the sidelines, I watched the final few seconds, and we come up short, 115 to 113. Ferran lets me down a little bit there at the end of the game. And in my return to New Orleans, the fans and the organization and the players, my former teammates, they get the better of me tonight. And honestly, we've played 72 episodes of this series, and I think this one is up there for one of the most games that's hurt that we've lost. I mean, this was one of the most painful losses throughout the entire series, and we played hundreds of games over the road to NBA 2K. Ferran, though, was great up until that final three that he missed. 31 for him. I had 26 and 12 with 2 steals. Cunningham had a couple of huge shots in the fourth quarter, and out of that 26, 17 of those came in the second half. I had a great stretch down the stretch, but unfortunately just was not enough. And looking at the Pelican side of things, Anthony Davis with 31 and 14, Kyra Lewis with 23. He had a couple of shots there that I could not play defense on because I did not want to risk fouling out in the fourth quarter. RJ had a 20-piece, Rashawn Holmes with a double-double. Typical Rashawn Holmes game. We're going to have to move on. So this was a very painful loss, and we make it 2 straight. As you can see here down the stretch, we play the Pelicans, Grizzlies, and then the Heat. So we get my former team, the Pelicans, then Aaron Catley, and then Josh Hart. So pretty much the entire roster of the Pelicans team last season we have to face down the stretch, and we come up short here against the Pelicans in an 8-point loss. So looking at the standings, we are back down by a single game against Washington, but hope is not lost, by the way, because we both have a game left on the schedule. So depending on what happens here against the defending champions, the Miami Heat, we could tie Washington and take the tiebreaker. Washington plays at the same time we do tonight. They take on Toronto while we host Miami. So depending on what happens tonight, we can control our own destiny in a sense, not fully though, because if Washington wins, they'll secure the 4th seed. But if we win and Washington loses, we'll get the 4th seed as we begin this game with some fireworks. A beautiful and one, trying to put away, back in the rearview mirror of that Pelicans loss. And I'll give us credit. We held tough with the defending champions all game long. Look at this three-pointer right here. Ferran setting me a screen to give me my second field goal, a quick 6 points for myself. And as we jump to the second quarter, we're going to be going a little rapid fire here. Going to go through this Miami Heat game pretty quickly as I find Emmanuel quickly, no pun intended, in the corner, tying it back up. No, excuse me, that's actually taking the lead. And this was probably one of the best games in terms of shooting the rock that we've had all season long. And it was all started by Ferran with 23 first half points. He's pacing for a new career high in points in a single game as we dwindle the third quarter down to 2:38 left to go. How about another three-pointer? This time it's Cade Cunningham. I've got another double-double, knotted back up at 83 apiece. So we lost to the Pelicans, lost to Aaron Catley and the Grizzlies, and hopefully we don't go 0 for 3 and losing to Josh Hart and the Miami Heat this game, as breaking up the alley-oop is Mitchell Robinson. I had a turnover there trying to lob Julius Randle, but Mitch has my back, and then I find Cade Cunningham in the corner to cut it to a 1-point game. Just the sheer confidence for Cade to take that shot. He had the back door, but no, he wanted to take that three all the way. 103 to 102, Josh Hart now checks me in the climax of this ball game. 4 seconds to shoot. I give it to Ferran in the left corner. 1-on-1 against Tyler Hero for the lead. And the rim doesn't do us any favors there, but it's all right. We need to stop here. Miami and Brandon Ingram and Tyler Hero set things up for a huge possession. Ingram 1-on-1 against Julius Randle, who tries to respond after a tough defensive showing against Anthony Davis. 6 seconds left. Tyler Hero for 3. That is a huge shot to extend it to 4. Miami on top. But we do manage a shot that gets knocked down, but so does Miami, and then a stop is forced by Randle. Great job towing in against Bam Adebayo in the post. Let's go with Ferran. He gives it to Cade to cut it to a 1-point game, and the rim again is unfriendly to the rookie. We need to stop here. Miami can pretty much put this game away with one more basket, and we're going to have to forfeit our right to that 4th seed, and gonna have to be on the road for the first 2 games of the playoff series. Brandon Ingram to try to put us away, and he knocks it through. Brandon Ingram, of course, finds himself on the Heat in that Ferran trade how many years ago. In Miami, we held very tough with the NBA's defending champions, 114 to 106, as episode 72 comes to a finish. Ferran with 28 points, but only 5 of those came in the second half. I had 18 and 14, but a little too many turnovers, and I only shot 8 for 22. I didn't have a good finish to this one. It looks like we just kind of ran out of gas in game 82, but it's all good though. I'm ready to hop into the playoffs next episode, and I will definitely be revealing that next episode as well. I can't wait to find out who we play. The favorite right now is either Washington or Toronto, so if we face the Wizards, we could be going up against the NBA Cinderella of this season. Washington's had a very sneaky good season. And of course, their point guard, my former college rival, Jerome Clifford. So that'd be a very cool dynamic to begin the Knicks' return to the NBA playoffs. If you guys are familiar with this series, you guys know the Knicks had back-to-back finishes before me and Ferran joined the team. And we've really done a good job turning this thing around. So we finished 5th in the East. We'll find out who we're playing in the next episode of The Road to NBA 2K21, along with recapping the stats, the awards, and the league leaders. And you'll find out that the friends in this series, me, Ferran, Donovan, and Deshaun, are well represented in the awards. So stay tuned for that here on my channel. Can't wait to have some playoff action in the next episode of The Road to NBA 2K21. Stay tuned.